Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we are going to discuss about user creation and assigning roles to the users in SAP Datasphere. Okay. So basically, if you are the admin of for creating those user roles, or if you have a respective privilege, then you will be able to see this option, which we are able to see over here. Otherwise, this icon or this option will not appear when you log into SAP Datasphere. So if you are an administrator role, then you will be able to see this option. So basically, we need to go to this option and then we need to click on the users. So here you can see, to add the user, first click on the security icon on the bottom left and then click on users. Then a similar window will open, and this window will have certain fields like the user ID, first name, last name, display name, the email address, and the manager, roles, licenses. And you can also configure. So if you click on the properties option, then you will get some more features as well, which can be used for SAML or other setup like single sign-on and all. But for this video, we will be only concentrating on how to create a user role. So here you can see there is a plus icon, and when you will click on the plus icon, a pop-up will appear, and that pop-up will ask you for a user ID. So your user ID should be the unique ID. It can't be a duplicate. So this is the key. If we take, or if we consider this as a table, then user ID is your key. Then first name, last name you can give as per the name of that user. And sometimes, like, people have some different official name, but they want to display their name as separately. For example, two users have exactly the same name. So sometimes it will create a confusion because nobody remembers the user name or the user ID. And if the first name and the last name is also same, then it is very difficult to identify which is the correct person. In those cases, display name is pretty handy, because you can use some kind of a prefix or suffix, like you can name like John from IT, or John from business, or John from finance department, and so on. So you can use prefix or suffix to after the name, so that uh, people can easily identify the correct person. So that is the purpose of this display name. The email ID is used because once the user is created, the login credentials will be sent to the respective email ID, and then only the person will be able to log in. So email ID is a must then. Okay, and then we have the roles where you can um, assign the roles to the users. The roles can be standard roles provided by SAP, or you can also create your custom roles. Okay, and then once you select the roles, the system will automatically assign like what kind of license this role is using. So this will appear automatically. Okay, and that is it. So once you go and click on plus icon, then you can put all those details and click on save button. So here you will have the save button. So you can enter the minimum requirement is the user ID, first name, last name, and email address, and the role. The remaining are the optional, which either you can put or you can leave it as blank, and then you can save. Then that user will be created, and the credentials will be sent over email to that user, using which the user can log into SAP Datasphere. Okay, so SAP provides five types of standard roles. Those are the system owner. The system owner includes all privileges to allow unrestricted access to all areas of the applications. Only one user in the system can be assigned to this role, and it must always be assigned to a user. Okay, so only one person can have this role, and there is no restriction. So because it's a role itself says, the name itself says that it's a system owner. So if anything happens wrong, because it's a cloud based tool, and there is a way to log into this tool. So suppose if you configure a single sign on, and due to some reason the single sign-on stopped working. Okay, so nobody will be able to, if nobody will be able to log into the system, then how that single sign-on problem will be solved? Because let's suppose something got expired, some license got expired which was used during the cloud connector or single sign-on configuration, and now it is not allowing, then only the system owner will be able to access the link through which there is a specific link that SAP provides in a note and also in the document. And using that link, system owner will be able to generate the metadata and also like upload the metadata uh, to reconfigure the single sign-on. Apart from system owner, nobody will be able to do that. So this is one of the examples. So these are the things that only system owner can perform. Now then second one is SAP Datasphere Administrator. So SAP Datasphere Administrator can create users, can also create spaces, and has the full privilege across the whole of the system and the tenant. So basically, SAP Datasphere Administrator has all the access, same as those of system owners. Only thing is that system owners have some additional privileges, like the account ownership. He will receive the notification about any upgrades or any incident from SAP if it is raised. You can also configure some other email IDs through which notification can be accessed. But in also in case of like any system failure or any issues with login, then system owner credentials are quite handy. Okay. And then we have SAP Datasphere Space Administrator. So whenever we create a space, as we already discussed in our previous video, where we were discussing about the space, there is a section to create a space user, or to assign the administrator for that space. So it manages all aspects of their space and can create data access control and use the content network. So everything related to the space, that space administrator can manage. So this role is basically, for example, if you have multiple spaces related to multiple business areas, okay, and it's not IT team, or maybe you have a big IT team which is relevant. One business area has one specific group of IT team. For example, one is handling only the finance, one is handling only the procurement part, one is handling only the HR part, and similarly for all those you have different spaces. And because those users are from different, or those IT persons are from different groups or different teams, then from each team you can assign an administrator so that they can take care of their spaces by their own. Then we have SAP Datasphere Integrator. So integrator can create and edit connections and database users and associate HDI container in spaces of which they are member. Okay, so basically they can create and edit connections, database users, and uh, associate HDI containers. So these topics we have already discussed during the data sphere connection session. So those kind of activities can be performed by a user with integrator role. Then we have SAP Datasphere Modeler role. So a modeler can create and edit objects in the data builder and business builder in space of which they are a member. So this is quite straightforward. And then we have a viewer role who can view objects in space of which they are member. So this is also quite straightforward as per the description. So the last thing we want to discuss here is the license type. So there are basically two license type in SAP Datasphere. A user license is a type of license that grant access to a specific user regardless of how many other users are using the software or service. Okay, So what does it mean? That if we have developed one application from SAP Datasphere, like an analytical model, and then on top of that we have created some views or some dashboards, and if we want to, if we have a user license, then it doesn't matter whether this service is already being used by 10% or 100%, 100 users or 50 users. It doesn't matter. But in case of concurrent session license, it is a type of license that allows a certain number of users to access the software or service at the same time. So here we need to define like how many number of users can access a certain application concurrently. So let's suppose we have developed one application, and if only 10 concurrent license session licenses we have, then, and if we have 10 concurrent licenses, but still we can define like 50 concurrent users. Okay. But what will happen, um, if 10 users are using, then it should be okay. But if another person will try to access it, then it will give a warning message. It will not allow to access, because we have a number of licenses as 10 uh, for the concurrent sessions. So this is very cost effective, because concurrent sessions is a cost effective when we use it, like if we have region wise users. So and those times are not overlapping, then we can use concurrent license as well. So this is one a good example of concurrent users. But in SAP Datasphere, as per the latest update, I guess the cost is not dependent on the license type. It is completely dependent on the capacity unit. So we may have a number of spaces, we may have a number of applications, but the cost will be calculated based on how much capacity, uh, on what capacity we are using our data sphere. So maybe if we have 100 dashboards, but we are very, and we also have like 500 plus users, but they are not very frequently using those dashboards, maybe only monthly or quarterly, then the capacity um, unit will be very less, and we need to pay lower cost. But if we have the same number of users, which is 500 something, and the same number of reports, or maybe even less, like 50 dashboards only, but users are using those reports on a daily basis, that means we are utilizing more capacity, then we need to pay more. So this is how the cost is very flexible, that it is based on the usage, not like we purchased some sort of licenses, and even if we are not using till the time we are developing and we are busy in doing the deployments and all, and we are still paying the cost for the license. So this is very cost effective, and at any time we can scale up and down, just like any other cloud service we have with Azure, AWS. So this is very good with SAP Datasphere. I can see, which I don't see with other previous licenses when we worked with SAP S4 HANA or BO system or SSC. But it's good that SAP heading towards capacity unit based charging. So this was it for this session. In more details, we will discuss about like how the data restriction works, and how we can provide the data security in the security part, which will be covered in the later session. After this session, we will be covering the data builder and the business builder, and towards the end of the um, this entire SAP Datasphere sessions, we will discuss about the security and roles. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like my content, please like this video and subscribe my channel. If you want to receive the latest notification about the video uploads, then press on the bell icon. And This was it for today. Have a nice day. Bye bye.